What's up, peeps? It's me. Yeah, I'm here. I'm not necessarily back, but I'm here. And I'm here because I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is staying safe. I hope everybody is being smart. Most importantly, I hope everybody is staying on code. The reason for my absence. I've been gone because I've been on a journey. Okay? I've been on a journey. I've been on a spiritual journey. I've been on an inner journey. I've been on a journey. I had to take a break from everything. I have taken a break from social media. I took a break from YouTube. I have had to take a break from everything. And what I'm going to talk about tonight is part of the reason why I had to take a break. Okay? So, for all my subscribers, everybody that has supported me, again, I want to say thank you. I'm very, very grateful for all of you. For everything that we have accomplished with the channel. The channel is not going anywhere, right? When I come back, it'll probably go in a different direction. I'll probably be incorporating some new stuff, but I'm not gone. I'm not gone for good. But like I said, I'm on this journey, and until the time comes, and I know for a fact that it's time for me to come back. I won't be back unless I'm led to do a video, something like what I'm doing tonight. Okay. But, no, I'm not gone for good. So no, I'm definitely not gone for good. But, so let's go ahead on and let's get into what I want to talk about tonight. And the first thing that I want to talk about is, as far as the Jordan Neely situation is concerned, I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking about that. There will be an article linked in the description box that you guys can go to, and you can read about it. You can read about what happened to Jordan Neely. You can see the video. I'm not gonna play the video on this channel. You can see the video. But to me, it's just another traumatic experience for black folks to have to absorb and to have to take in, and it just adds to our trauma. It just adds to the trauma that we already have in our DNA, the trauma that comes down to us through our DNA from past generations. Some say it goes back as far as 10, 15 generations of all of this traumatic stuff that's in our DNA, and this video just adds to our trauma. You know, seeing another unarmed black man murdered on camera by a white person, and he was assisted by several other by a couple of other white people, if I'm not mistaken, based on what I seen on the video. Seeing another unarmed black man just murdered, and having absolutely nothing done about it just adds to our trauma. And this is part of the reason why I'm on this journey, okay? But like I said, in the description box will be a link to an article where they talk about it, where they actually show the video, where they talk about Governor Kathy Hochul's response to it. They talk about Mayor Eric Adams' response to it, and the whole 9 yards, right? But it is part, what you see in this video is part of the reason why I'm on this journey. Also, what I'm getting ready to read to you is part of the reason why I'm on this journey. So let's get into this. This was, let me see, May 9th, 2023. It's coming from the California Globe by Evan Simon. And it reads, Governor Gavin Newsom will not support cash reparation payments, but supports recommendations. Okay? And I'm just going to read a little bit of this. I'm not going to read all of this article because this article is it's kind of long. And I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have heard by now that the California Task Force came back with some reparations recommendations. As far as cash payments were concerned, they were talking about $1.2 million to each black person in California that qualified, and Gavin Newsom did not appear to support the cash payments, right? But let's get into this. Newsom has changed his mind in the past, especially when pressured by outside groups. In an interview with Fox News on Tuesday, Governor Gavin Newsom said he would not be endorsing cash payments as reparations, stunning many supporters and stopping the movement for cash payment reparations in California dead in its tracks. Since the task force was first put together in late 2020, following Governor Newsom signing AB 3121 into law, they have considered and recommended reparations, monetary or otherwise, for African Americans living in California for discriminatory practices and slavery of the past, despite that California was never a slave state. Okay, California may not have been a slave state, but California allowed slavery. California allowed those that were coming in to bring their slaves in with them. Okay? So California was also a part of the whole slave metrics in the United States, even if it was not quote unquote a slave state, right? And if you listen to Tariq and get into some history with Tariq, there was there's one city in California that was actually a slave colony. I can't remember the name of it, but it was actually a slave colony in California. Okay, so don't buy into this bullshit that California was not a slave state. That California allowed slaves, and it was some law that California did in the 1800s. We'll get into that, where they talked about fugitive slaves and all of that. We'll get into that in a minute. While initially encompassing all people of African descent, the group of those qualified to receive reparations was significantly narrowed in March 2022 when the task force voted to limit the possible reparations to those who are an African American descendant of an enslaved person or free black person living in the U.S. prior to the end of the 19th century. So that's when they decided that it was going to be lineage based, right? Despite heavy criticism over any cash payments still persisted, the task force voted to approve cash payments over the weekend. According to the task force's recommendation, direct cash payments for restitution would be divided between more broader areas of compensation for larger groups of eligible people and more focused compensation based on individuals harms of the past. This would include They wrote this would include it, but it's actually this would include an estimated payment of $13,619 per Lord, these people can't write. Each year of state residency for healthcare disparities, 3,366 each year lived in the state between 1933 and 1977 for housing discrimination, and 2,352 each year lived in California between 1971 and 2020 for mass incarceration and over-policing. Outside of direct monetary payments, other more social changes were recommended, including removing racial bias and discriminatory practice in standardized testing, declaring Election Day a paid state holiday, updating language in the state's constitution, restoring voting rights to all formerly and currently incarcerated people, compensating people deprived of profits for their work, apologizing for acts of political disenfranchisement, implementing rent caps in historically redlined neighborhoods, and investing in and creating free health care programs. Okay, now we got all of these free health care programs for all these illegal aliens flooding into the country. Okay, but anyway. However, despite the recommendation, many members of the Assembly and Senate lambasted the payments and other costly reparations given the overall cost. California running a budget deficit, the majority of Californians against reparations. California was a free state during the Civil War, and multiple other reasons. California was not a free state. There were slaves in California, right? Governor Newsom, in particular, has taken heat as he found himself in between approving a policy that would financially harm the state or going back on his initial approval of the task force several years ago. Now, you have to understand, this whole task force thing was Newsom's idea. This whole task force thing was his idea. It's not like anybody came to him. It's not like anybody, forced him to make this. This whole task force thing, this whole AB 3121 was Governor Newsom's idea. Anyway, this is what James Gallagher, a Republican from Yuba City, had to say. This has been a fool's errand from the start. Democrats have promised the world with this reparations task force, and now the massive taxpayer bill is coming due. Newsom has painted himself into a corner, and he'll have to choose between signing off on a ridiculous policy that will bankrupt the state or admitting once and for all that this task force was nothing more than a political stunt. This is what Newsom had to say. The Reparations Task Force's independent findings and recommendations are a milestone in our bipartisan effort to advance justice and promote healing. This has been an important process, and we should continue to work as a nation to reconcile our original sin of slavery and understand how that history has shaped our country. Now remember, these are Newsom's words, right? Dealing with that legacy of slavery is about much more than cash payments. Let that sink in. Many of the recommendations put forward by the task force are critical action items we've already been hard at work addressing. Breaking down barriers to vote. Who said anything about voting? Reparations doesn't have anything to do with voting. Except for no tangibles, no vote. No reparations, no vote. Anyway. Bolstering resources to address hate. Enacting sweeping law enforcement and justice reforms to build trust and safety, strengthening economic mobility. Okay, where are the reforms and the sweeping law enforcement and justice reforms? Where do you see those in California? You don't. All while investing billions to root out disparities and improving equity in housing, education, healthcare, and well beyond. This work must continue. Following the task force's submission to its final report this summer, I look forward to a continued partnership with the legislature to advance systemic changes that ensure an inclusive and equitable future for all Californians. So we went from talking about black people who descend from slavery, American chattel slavery, to talking about all Californians. While supporters of reparations had not yet responded to the governor as of Tuesday evening, opponents embraced the news, as it would either mean an outright veto or that the final report by the task force in July or the subsequent bill for reparations would need to be significantly altered to cut out cash payments altogether. Newsom has definitely been seeing all of these estimates compared to California's financial situation right now. Reparations aren't dead, but they are going to be vastly different than what people were either expecting or feared they might be. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of it. It'll be linked in the description box. You can go ahead on and you can read the entire article for yourself. Okay, that's what he said then. Okay, well, when he started getting the backlash, and now listen, you got to understand, California is supposed to be one of the most liberal states. It is run by Democrats. It has been run by Democrats for years. It is one of the biggest democratic machines as far as the Democrat Party that you would have ever wanted to see, and has been for many, many years. So if you can't get the support that you need from reparations from these Democrats that you vote for and have voted for and have been loyal to for the last 60 plus years, and anywhere between 85 and 90% of the vote coming from black folks, then who are you going to get it from? Because white people would, not white people, excuse me, Republicans, white Republicans, would have let you know from the very beginning, no, we're not doing reparations. They would not have played this awful game on you. Going through it, all these meetings, all these public meetings, all these live meetings. You got all of these people speaking in California. You got all of this going on. This has been going on for the better part of 2 years. Just for him to come up and say, no, we don't approve of cash payments. Let's see if we can't find let's see if we can't redefine reparations to mean something other than cash, even though everybody else that has gotten reparations has gotten cash, including the former slave owners here in the United States. They got cash money. Okay? Now, let's go over here to the Hill, where after he gets a little bit of backlash and he realizes that maybe he went a little bit too far, all of a sudden over here on the Hill on May the 10th, we get a little different picture. This is from the Hill. Jacques Porter, like I said, 5/10/23. Newsom not backing away from reparation cash payments yet, spokesperson says. Governor Gavin Newsom did not explicitly endorse cash payments to some Black Californian residents as recommended by the state's reparation task force earlier this month. However, in a Wednesday morning statement, his spokesperson said that Newsom is not backing away from the payments. Okay, well, if you're not backing away from the payments, then what are you doing? Because you just said earlier that you didn't support cash payments. And that some of these other recommendations are what we need to be concentrating on. An earlier statement shared with media outlets said that dealing with the nation's history of slavery and discrimination of Black Americans is about much more than cash payments. The statement neither fully supported or rejected the task force's recommendation on monetary reparations. Many of the recommendations put forward by the task force are critical action items we've already been hard at work at. Newsom's chief communicator advisor, Anthony York, said in the earlier statement. Okay, well, that sounds like the exact same thing that Newsom said. York clarified Wednesday that the governor is not backing away from cash payments, but wants to wait for the report in its entirety to arrive on his desk before he makes a decision. So now he can't make a decision. He got to wait for the report to come in its entirety. I'm also not going to read all of this article. York said the payment issue will be resolved after Newsom meets with the legislative leadership this summer, and that for now the governor is not ruling anything out. Okay? So like I said, the three articles, this article from the Hill, the article from California Globe, and also the article from the Daily News, as far as Holcomb and all of them are concerned, as far as what happened to Jordan Neely, all of those articles will be listed in the description box. But this is what I really want to talk to you about. What I really want to talk to you about is, first of all, how can any self-respecting Black person, these are Democrats, you understand what I'm saying? And all the Democrats are concerned about. They got all these billions and billions and billions of dollars to send to other nations, to send to Ukraine. They got all these billions and billions of dollars to spend on all of these illegals flooding this country. And they providing them health care. They providing driver's license for them. They trying to find jobs for them, housing, all kind of social benefits and all of that. But when it comes to reparations for us, especially in the form of cash payments, it's just this big problem. It's just this huge problem that Democrats are rejecting. It's not so much the Republicans rejecting reparations in the form of cash payments as much as it is other Democrats are rejecting it. Democrats are saying it's not feasible. Democrats are saying it's not what we need to be doing. Democrats are the ones that are saying they want to try to redefine what reparations is. Because if you don't have cash payments, you don't have real reparations. So any self-respecting black person that will continue to support the Democratic Party after this right here, after 2 years of putting people through all of this, and that's the reason why I left Twitter. That's the reason why nobody has heard or seen anything from me in the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, is because even on Twitter, foundational black Americans were going at each other. All about what are we going to call ourselves? Freedmen, foundational black Americans, black Americans, African Americans, all of this just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we're going at each other. We're tearing each other apart because the Democrats were playing this game on us. And we got so caught up in this that we forgot in this California reparations thing. We got so caught up in this until we forgot that we needed to be building with each other. We need to be building outside of this. I was all for, okay, if you can get it, get it. But I saw what it was doing to the community, especially on Twitter. I mean, you got, the thing that was going on between foundational black Americans or native black Americans or whatever name you want to call them, the thing that was going on between them and the black immigrants was one thing. Because the black immigrants have put it out there that, they don't like us. They have many of them have sided with white supremacy against us for years. We have found out very quickly and very painfully that Pan-Africanism was only something that was being practiced over here on our side, the whole 9 yards. But you had regular foundational black Americans, native black Americans, like I said, whatever, freedmen, whatever you want to call yourselves, going at each other, blocking each other. You understand? Going at each other on Twitter. It was ridiculous. And all because these Democrats, these white supremacist Democrats, played this game on you. I mean, all of this stuff with the OMB, what we going to call each other, ourselves, how we going to designate ourselves, and all of this, and all this back and forth, and all of this stemmed from what was going on in California. And Gavin Newsom and the Democrats knew that this was what they were going to do the whole time. They knew from the beginning that cash payments was on the table. So how we can continue as a collective to support these people when they would play this kind of cruel game on you? Republicans would not have done this. Republicans would have let you know right off the bat, no, reparations is not on the table in any form as far as they're concerned. But these are the people that you continue to vote for. These are the people you continue to show your loyalty to over and over and over again, to the point where you go against each other to be loyal to these people. Instead of us as foundational black Americans, like I said, whatever you want to call yourself, instead of us backing up and saying, okay, yes, we support reparations. Yes, we're going to continue to fight for reparations. But until that day comes, we've got to join with each other, with other like-minded black Americans, and we've got to build. We've got to build something for ourselves. We've got to do for ourselves. That's the reason why I had to back off of Twitter. That's the reason why I haven't been on YouTube. That's the reason why I haven't done, because I had to go on a personal journey. Because I'm tired of hearing all these stories. I'm tired of seeing all of this trauma. I'm tired of seeing all of these black, especially black men, but black men, women, and children being murdered in the streets by police officers and by these unspecified forces of white supremacy. Nothing being done about it. Nobody offering solutions. You understand what I'm saying? I'm tired of seeing all of these illegal immigrants coming in and they're being treated better than us. I was tired of seeing it all, hearing it all. You understand what I'm saying? Even being one that was bringing the news to you, but I had no solutions. And that's when I realized, okay, I got to go on this journey for myself. I've got to get myself situated so that I, in fact, can find myself in a position where I can actually offer such solutions to my people. Instead of bringing them this trauma news. Instead of just bringing them this bad news all the time. White supremacy is doing this. White supremacy is doing that. White supremacy is doing to black people what white supremacy has always done to black people. Nothing has changed. And we just constantly sharing this trauma and sharing this bad news with each other, and we're not offering each other any real solutions. We're still sitting up waiting for our oppressors and the people that hate us to offer a solution, whether it be in the form of reparations or whatever. You know, I got folks on Twitter coming at me, telling me who I can't tag them in, and I can't tag this, and I can't that, and I don't need to be dealing with this person, and I don't need to be dealing with that person, because they call themselves a freedman, or they call themselves, no. So once again, we allowed white supremacy to turn us against ourselves, and we start eating ourselves up from the inside out. And I couldn't be a part of that anymore. So that's the reason why I had to step away. Because yes, we are owed reparations. Most definitely we are owed reparations. And yes, I believe that there will come a time when we will get reparations. But and yes, we need to continue to fight for it. We need to continue to fight. But what we need to do more than anything is we need to join forces and put our money and our resources together to get grassroots candidates that actually believe in reparations just like we do elected to some of these posts. And get rid of all of these politricksters. Because the black politicians that are in office right now, they're not looking out for the interest of the grassroots. So that's the kind of building that we need to be doing. We need to take a step back from reparations for a minute. And we need to start as a collective, as a whole, pooling our resources, putting our money and our finances together, and supporting grassroots candidates. And for God's sake, stop voting for and supporting these lying Democrats. Right wing, left wing. Two wings, same bird. When are black people going to get that? When are black people going to understand that? That whether you're supporting Republicans or whether you're supporting Democrats, you're supporting white supremacy. They work together. They go hand in hand to keep white supremacy intact. And the same white supremacy that has oppressed us, that has murdered us, that has stolen from us, that has killed us, that has done all of this to us for the last 500 years is the same white supremacy we support every time we go out and vote for these Democrats or Republicans. So that's the reason why I had to step back. That's the reason why I had to leave social media alone. That's the reason why I have not been on YouTube. That's the reason why I have not been posting videos. That's the reason why I had to go on this journey. I had to cleanse myself of all the negativity that was surrounding reparations, that was surrounding everything that's going on. I had to clean myself and cleanse myself of all that negativity. And I had to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's time for us to stop being so much problem-based and start being solution-based. What are we going to do about this? How are we going, as a collective, how are we going to change this? And we're not going to change it by voting, because if voting could change it, it would be changed by now. because we have been loyal voters of the Democratic Party for the last 60 plus years. So if voting could change anything, it would be changed by now. And I would urge all of my listeners, all of my followers, all of my subscribers, I would urge you to do the same thing. I would urge you to take a step back for a minute. Take a step back from all the media. Take a step back from all the hype. Take a step back from social media. Take a step back from all of it and regroup. Reprogram your mind. Cleanse yourself of all the negativity. Stop focusing on the problem and start focusing on how can I be a part of the solution. How can I be a part of the solution to bring my people up? Because these other groups are not going to do it for us. They never have, they never will. They come, they use us, they use our struggle, they use our strength, they use our fight, they use all of that. They piggyback off of our struggle, they piggyback off of the work that we have done to benefit themselves, and then they leave us at the bottom, where white supremacy is determined for us to stay. Whether it be right white supremacy or left white supremacy, they are determined to keep us at the bottom. Why? Because as long as black folks are at the bottom, white supremacy is secure. White supremacy knows that it's working exactly like it should work as long as black people stay at the bottom, financially, socially, economically, in every way. So I became solution-based, not problem-based. I'm not focusing on the problem anymore. I'm focusing on the solution. And I'm focusing on how I can do my part to bring my people up, to uplift my people. And I understand that voting ain't a part of that. Voting is not a part of that. Looking to this system to do something for me or to do something for my people as a collective is not a part of that. We are going to have to come together. We are going to have to pool our resources and bring ourselves up, like we've had to do ever since before slavery. So yes, we need to keep fighting for reparations, but we need to fight for reparations with the folks that want to fight for reparations with us. And that's grassroots candidates. We need to start building our own grassroots candidates and supporting them financially. Because none of the candidates now, whether they be black, white, or Hispanic, Asian, or whatever, none of the candidates, none of the politicians that are in place now, that are a part of this establishment, that are a part of this system, none of them are going to support cash payments for reparations. None of them are going to do it. They might lie and say that they're going to do it. They might hint at it, but they're not going to do it. And they have to be replaced with grassroots candidates that know that they have the support of the people. So this is what I wanted to bring y'all tonight. I didn't want this to be too long, but like I said, I've been on this journey. I would urge everybody else to take a step back, clear your mind, get rid of all the negativity. You understand what I'm saying? Stop focusing on the problem and start focusing on the solutions. Start focusing, stop waiting for somebody else to come in and do something for us, and focus on the fact that we've got to figure out as a collective, as a group, how we're going to do it for ourselves. And for God's sakes, as a black American, you understand what I'm saying? As a black person, period. For God's sake, if you have any respect for yourself whatsoever, please leave these Democrats alone. And I'm not telling you to run over there to the Republicans because they ain't no better. Only difference is with the Republicans, you know what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting because they're not going to lie to you. They're not going to hide it. Why? Because they're not trying to get your vote. They're not trying to get your support. But this is one of the most cruelest jokes you could play on a group of people that actually believed in this. For over 2 years. You got folks going to meetings. You got folks going to lives. You got Kamala Moore and all the task force members dedicating all of this time and energy to this and all of this just for this man to come out and say that he didn't support it. And like I said, the only reason why in the Hill he's talking about now not backing away from reparations cash payments is because there's been such a backlash. But his first statements are his true statements. That's how he really feels. But that's what I got for you guys tonight. I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate you being subscribers. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when we upload videos. Again, thank y'all for all the support. Thank y'all for all the love. Yes, I will be back. But like I said, things may be a little different when I come back. Because when I come back, I won't be so... I won't be problem-based at all. I'll be more solution-based. It'll be more about how we can come together to come up with these solutions. How we can come together to build our people back up. And to bring ourselves up from the bottom. They keep telling us that we're going to have to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. Okay, well, that's what we're going to have to do. We've done it before, over and over and over again. We can do it again. Okay? But like I said, all this information, these articles are down in the description box, as well as any information that you want for the channel, my email address in case there's something that you specifically want me to talk about, the Cash App, the PayPal for the channel, all of that will be down in the description box. But again, please, you guys, please be careful. Stay on code. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Keep your power tools at the ready. Stop focusing on the problem. And let's get more focused on the solution. All right? All right. Y'all have a good night. And I'll talk to y'all later.